Health is of paramount importance. Now more than ever, people are really taking extra care of what they eat and how that affects their body. Type 2 diabetes is a serious disease that many people are baffled with. Although there are many ways to combat it, in today's video, we will see how simple changes in your nutrition can help combat type 2 diabetes. Understanding type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic illness that prevents your body from properly utilizing insulin. Insulin resistance is a term used to describe the condition of people with type 2 diabetes. This type of diabetes is more common in people in their 40s and 50s. It was previously known as adult-onset diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, on the other hand, affects children and teenagers owing to childhood obesity. Type 2 diabetes is extremely common, and most of the times, many people do not even notice that they have this disease, making it more deadly. A rise of insulin in your body can have many side effects, which can harm your overall health. For example, type 2 diabetes patients often struggle with being energetic. They are usually extremely fatigued, they feel extremely exhausted all the time, and feel like they have to urinate every once in a while. Type 2 diabetes is caused mainly due to a severe imbalance of several hormones in your body. The most significant hormone out of all these hormones is insulin. Insulin is a hormone produced by your pancreas. It aids in the conversion of glucose, a form of sugar, from the food you eat into energy in your cells. Type 2 diabetics produce insulin, but their cells don't use it as well as they should. Obese individuals are resistant to insulin. This causes pre-type 2 diabetes. When one becomes insulin resistant, they have trouble in receiving blood sugar where it needs to go, a condition that can lead to a myriad of problems. Now, everything an individual consumes is either a carbohydrate, a protein, or a fat-containing food item. They all have different effects on glucose. It is a very well-known fact that carbs and fats have the tendency to spike up your glucose. For example, if you eat a waffle, which is high in sugar, it tends to add more fats and carbs into your body, spiking the insulin secretion in your body to deal with the extra glucose your body has just consumed. The only type of food that you will consume that does not spike up insulin as much as carbs or fat is protein. Insulin has a very sneaky effect that you might not have known about. Insulin spike causes the feeling of hunger. A high amount of insulin in your bloodstream will make you crave more food, so if you are trying to watch your weight, insulin can most easily be your enemy. Now, this does not mean you starve yourself, but experts believe that if one can cut down on carbs, one can notice visible changes in physique. Type 2 diabetes patients can defiantly profit from this. Now, there is only one diet out there that can help you battle carbs like none other. This is the ketogenic diet. What is keto? Amongst the most hyped up things in the 21st century, the keto diet has fans and haters alike. Many might still wonder what is the precise definition of a ketogenic and why is it so popular. For starters, it is a diet where you completely eliminate the intake of carbohydrates and sugar in all forms. Yes, you heard it. No more bread or rice for anyone who decides to go down the keto path. As we mentioned earlier, an elimination of carbohydrates can definitely result in a decrease of insulin secretion in the body, which can be beneficial for type 2 diabetes patients. But before we draw conclusions so quickly, let us understand what keto is about. The ketogenic diet is based on the premise that restricting the body of carbohydrates, which are its primary source of energy, this causes the body to turn towards the body fat when it is seeking energy, burning fat whenever needed, resulting in maximum weight loss. The body transforms carbohydrates into glucose or blood sugar, which it subsequently uses for energy when you eat carbohydrates containing food. Is keto truly helpful to your cause? Weight loss is the primary objective of every type 2 diabetes patient, so it may seem strange that a high-fat diet is an option. The keto diet will always be a high-in-fat diet, with a negligible intake of carbs, has the potential to change how your body stores and uses energy, which could help you manage diabetes symptoms. The excess sugar generated in the body during type 2 diabetes can be combated with this diet, as your body uses fat instead of carbs. The diet was developed in the 1920s as a remedial measure for epilepsy. But the potential impact on type 2 diabetes did not go unnoticed, and that is why scientists are still studying the impact it has in this case. The ketogenic diet has been shown to improve blood glucose levels while also lowering insulin requirements. The diet, however, is not without its drawbacks. Because many persons with type 2 diabetes are overweight, a high-fat diet may appear to be counterproductive. The ketogenic diet aims to force the body to use fat for energy rather than carbohydrates or glucose. The keto diet relies heavily on fat for energy, with carbs accounting for only a small portion of the diet. Because glucose is the simplest form of energy for the body to use, it is always employed as a source of energy before your body switches to stored fat. A ketogenic diet restricts carbohydrate intake, forcing the body to rely on fat for energy. Fat is broken down in the liver as a result of this, resulting in ketones, which are metabolic byproducts. Ketones are used to power the body when glucose is unavailable. Ketones will provide you the energy you need to work out and go about your daily tasks. And because protein causes a lower insulin surge than carbohydrates, it can help with type 2 diabetes patients lower their insulin levels. However, just because you're on a ketogenic diet doesn't imply you should eat a lot of saturated fats. Not all fats are villains. Some fats are good for you, your heart, and your health in general. Keep up with the ketones. There are different varieties of keto, but in order to reach ketosis, you must drastically cut the amount of carbohydrates you consume. To make a bespoke food plan, use a ketogenic calculator. According to data, the average American man over the age of 20 consumes 46.4% of his daily calories from carbohydrates, while the average American woman over the age of 20 consumes 48.2%. However, the traditional ketogenic diet, which was developed to treat seizure disorders, consumes 80 to 90% of calories from fat, 5 to 15 from protein, and 5 to 10 from carbohydrates. The more often utilized version of the ketogenic diet today is a modified one that permits you to eat protein more liberally, at 20 to 30% of your total calories, while still adhering to the carbohydrate limitation. Keto diet effects on blood glucose. Blood glucose levels can be reduced by following a ketogenic diet. People with type 2 diabetes are often advised to limit their carbohydrate consumption since carbohydrates convert to sugar and in large amounts can cause blood sugar increases. Carbohydrate counts, on the other hand, should be determined on an individual basis with the assistance of your doctor. Eating too many carbohydrates can be problematic if you already have high blood glucose. Some people notice lower blood sugar when they shift their focus to fat. Precautions before changing your lifestyle. When you switch your body's primary energy source from carbohydrates to fat, your blood level of ketones rises. This is not to be confused with ketoacidosis, which is a life-threatening disorder. You may be at risk for diabetic ketoacidosis if you have too many ketones. When blood glucose levels are excessively high, DKA occurs, which can be caused by a lack of insulin. DKA can occur in people with type 2 diabetes if their ketones are excessively high. If you're sick while on a low-carb diet, you're more likely to get DKA. If you're following a ketogenic diet, keep track of your blood sugar levels throughout the day to ensure they stay within the ideal range. Consider checking your ketone levels to ensure you're not in danger for DKA. Changing lifestyles and nutrition is a big step. It is best to keep a medical health professional in the loop while making such big decisions. A keto diet can help you achieve long-term results that you have been aiming for, and it can truly help those who are trying to regulate their insulin level. But since it is a matter of health, we still ask you to be careful.